So you'll see the new Starburst cardigan pattern. It is a little bit intimidating if you've never made a garment before or you are quite new to crochet. But what I can promise is that crochet is no more complicated than knitting is. You know, any crochet pattern, any crochet design will be made of a selection of the same stitches. So what I mean by that is you've got single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, and triple and double triple. And those stitches form the base of any crochet stitch, any pattern, any lace design, any textured design. It's all based on the same handful of stitches. So with that in mind, if you are worried about getting the cardigan wrong, I can assure you, you just need to take your time. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to demonstrate how to do the bobble stitch, which is the main crochet stitch in this pattern. So as you can see, this is all about choice and it's all about comfort. Now, you might just be able to use one of these and not have an issue. So this is just a standard aluminium crochet hook. Okay, then you've got it's a grip handle crochet hook, but it's a bit softer and shorter than, say, the Addy grip handle crochet hook, which is slightly longer. So you choose which crochet hook you want, and don't always think you have to use the same size as what the pattern says. That's why we have to test gauge, and that's why we have to see how many stitches we have to the same measurements. So the bobble stitch, I'm just going to chain a multiple of 2. Okay. So remember, the chain is just where we pull through. Okay. So you just chain the amount of chains that the pattern wants you to. So I'll demonstrate the bobble stitch. Now, what I need you to do is I need you to always make your bobble every 2 chains. Okay, so 1, 2, go into this one. Okay, so the bobble stitch, I've done a yarn over. I'm just going to pull through 2. Okay, yarn over. I'm going to go back into the same chain. Okay, yarn over again, and pull through 2. Okay, and then one more time. So yarn over into that same chain, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So now I've got 4 stitches on the crochet hook. I'm going to yarn over, pull through all 4. Okay, so 1, 2. Okay, and then skip 2, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so I'm making my second bobble stitch now. Yarn over, go through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, in again, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and there's my second bobble stitch. So this is just what I've shown you on the photo tutorial, but I'm showing you it now in motion so that you can see the movements and you can see what it is you are supposed to be doing. Okay, so in you go again. Okay, so every bobble has got 3 clusters. Now, something else you might notice is that different patterns will call the stitches something else. Ultimately, what you need to do is you just need to check in the pattern what the definition is of that stitch. So for me, in this particular pattern, my definition is the 3 clusters. So when you work flat, there'll be a single double crochet stitch on one end, and there might just be 1 bobble stitch on the other end, and that's fine. So what you do when you get to the end, now if you're working with more than 1 colour at this point, you might you'll attach the next colour and make the chain of 3 with your second colour. Okay, now these 3 chains are going to form the first single isolated double crochet stitch, and I'm going to go into this space here, which is called the chain space. Okay, and then I'm going to start making me bobbles in all the chain spaces now, and at this point you are plain sailing because you don't have to work into the chain anymore. You're working into the chain space, which is a gap. Okay, so in we go. So I'm just going to keep working in all these chain spaces. If you are new to this pattern, I would suggest maybe you practice bobble stitch first, and that could actually help you master your gauge too, so that, because I always find when people are new, their gauge is a little bit too tight or too loose because they're either nervous about it and pulling too hard, or nervous about it and not pulling hard enough. So I would definitely recommend practicing. We're doing this bobble stitch with the aim of creating a loose, soft fabric that will hang off the body. Now it's with chunky yarn, so the idea is that you'll still get the warmth, but you won't have a dense, stiff garment. You'll have quite a loose, wearable garment. That's the main concern that knitters have when they take up crochet. For example, they'll be like, oh, but the fabric's so stiff. Now as you see, I'm at the end now, and that's that isolated double crochet stitch. I'm just going to go into that chain space between the double crochet stitch and this last cluster. In I go. Okay, and then as you can see, I've got a pattern here of a cluster. Hang on, just stuck. There we go. So as you can see here, I've got a single cluster, and then on the other side I've got cluster single. And what these will do is these will alternate each end as you're working flat, and then when it comes to you adding the edge in here, you will be able to just work into that gap there or work into this leg here. So just remember, when you get to the end, chain 3, because 3 counts as your single double crochet stitch, and just immediately start making your bobble stitches into the chain space. So definitely practice this before you take on this garment if you feel that that's the right thing for you to do. If you're slightly more confident, then by all means just jump in.